Hi House Beautiful, I'm Huma Qureshi and welcome to my home. We live in a 60s house in High Barnet, North London. When we first came to view the house, it was a really hot summer's day and I was really struck by the openness and the sense of airiness in the house and the way the light just flooded through the windows and just filled the centre of the house. I just loved it. Even though the house looked nothing like it looks now and it was in quite a state, there was something about the way that it felt that day that really stayed with us. The feeling of being on holiday was something that I really wanted to capture in this house. I think more than the way that it looks, it's always about the feeling when you come in through the door, and I wanted that feeling very much of feeling like you're leaving everything else at the door, like all your worries and anxieties, and you can come here and it just feels lighter. And the way that I express that is through colour and through pattern and the things that make me happy and the things that I hope make my family happy as well. This is the kitchen, which I absolutely love. It was always in this area, even in the original house, though we did knock down a wall so that the dining table can be right opposite the kitchen. In our previous home, the kitchen was in the basement, so if you were carrying your shopping in, you'd have to go through all of the house and then down a flight of stairs just to put the milk away. And so I made a really deliberate choice that I wanted the kitchen to be quite near the front door as soon as you come into the house, like through the hall. And aside from that being a practical decision, it's just really cozy and quite homely. I love the fact when the kids come home, if dinner's being made, they're straight through the door and there's a real sense of, I don't know, togetherness almost immediately, and I love that. Because of the way it's been designed, it's really clever because there's storage everywhere. I mean, there's more storage than we need, even though it's quite a small space, because everywhere has been thought of. There's like a bookcase behind the kitchen door for the cookery books, and then all the crockery is on the open shelves down there. I've always loved open shelves, and I've had open shelves in, I think, every kitchen that we've lived in. I've taken cabinets down and put shelves up, but in this instance we put shelves at the front here, which makes so much sense because it means we can just very easily lay the table, because the table is just right in front of there. The kitchen has some of the most strongest colours in this space downstairs. I've always lived in places with quite plain white kitchens before, and I really wanted to do something different this time and really use colour. So we went for a dark green on the bottom of the units here. I was quite keen that I didn't want a kitchen that was too matchy, which sounds silly because most units are always going to match, but that's why we've got this row of kind of mustard coloured cupboards here, which play against the green. It kind of really complements it without it being too heavy, because I think if they'd all been dark green it might have been too imposing in this space. And at the same time that gave me a chance to play with the pop of pink in the inside of the shelves, and there's also a really nice detail on the doors where the inside of the handles is also quite a bright coral pink. And again, in a similar kind of way of thinking, I didn't want the kitchen to be overly kitchen and match too much, which is why we opted for different kind of styles of units on the top there. This is my writing room, and I feel so lucky to be able to have a space where I can write and close the door and kind of lock myself away from the rest of the house. It's at the total far end of the house, so it's actually really quiet. Mostly I think I write best when I'm right here. And it's also where I am currently doing my interior design training as well. So I come in here and I have my samples, and it means I've got loads of space. I can switch between both being an author and also doing the interior design stuff, because I've got the room to do it, which I'm very grateful for. So when I'm writing, or I'm starting a new story, or I'm looking for new ideas to write about, I get really inspired by watching films. It really feeds me creatively, and I think I write in quite a visual way. And these two posters are posters of my two favourite films. First is Julieta by Pedro Almodovar, and it's this beautiful story about loss and loneliness and mothers and daughters, which are themes that I write about in my own short stories, and it's actually based upon a short story, which is one of my favourite stories as well. And second is quite different is Frances Ha, but what I love about Frances Ha is the dialogue and how natural it is, and the theme of friendship and the closeness and the bonds between women. And these are all themes that I'm always just so magnetically drawn to in my writing. It really feeds me creatively to just have a space which is surrounded by reminders of the things that are really meaningful to me. When we first decorated and styled this room, it was very much a playroom. The walls used to be white and we used to have a row of coloured storage lockers, lots of bright artwork up on the wall. But to be honest, that was quite a noisy space. So as they'd sort of long since grown out of lots of toys that just weren't being used anymore, I took that opportunity to completely redo the room and just calm it down. Yellow is one of my favourite colours. We've got yellow flooring throughout some of the house, and I really wanted to put yellow in this room because it's lively and kind of gives you an energy, but it's also really calming and soothing, especially when it gets darker in here. It's kind of like a buttery yellow. It's called patent yellow. This love seat is from John Lewis. We've had it for nearly 15 years or so, and it was the first piece of furniture that my husband and I bought together. It's actually a shade of green originally, but I had it reupholstered in this really fun stripe. And it has the exact same terracotta shade that picks up the tiles from the kitchen and the paintwork as well. The family room is kind of an awkward shaped room. It's quite angular and it's a bit like a wedge, and originally it was just one space, but it wasn't very workable because it was such an awkward room. It's kind of like an elbow sticking into the rest of the house. So we decided to put a partition to make it more usable and have like really clearly defined areas of how we were going to use it. So we have this nice family room where we can all come together, and then we have this really cozy little TV nook, which I really love because the sofa is so big, it just fills up most of the room and it just makes it really, really cozy. The sofa is just a normal IKEA Kivik, I think, which we've had for at least 10 years, if not more. And it served us really well as a family. And I used the opportunity when we were moving to just jazz it up a little and got it reupholstered. I was looking for kind of a blue that was almost like a denim. And I really love piping. I love the extra added detail. And I really wanted to bring in some red. So I put that together. And then we have one cushion on the end, which is patterned. And again, it's this really lovely Swedish vintage fabric that is full of all these little folksy elements. So you've got like knights riding horses, and you've got these little bunny rabbits, and the pattern on it is really storytelling, really. So it's kind of another nod to the fact that it's a family space. It was like a childhood space, and there's these little stories, these little details that are just dotted around everywhere. This is what we call our front room. It's at the front of the house. And the idea behind it was that it was going to be a grown-up space. So there's no TV in here and no like toy cupboards or anything. But it's actually just become a space that we all also love to use. So the kids are often in here as well. They're practicing piano or doing a jigsaw puzzle or doing some homework at the table in the corner. The colours of this room are quite deliberately more muted than the rest of the house, whereas the family room is quite vibrant with the buttery yellow. This one is much more calmer, and you really feel that when you're in the space as well. The pink on the wall is not a pinky pink, it's got a sort of greyish, muddyish undertone to it, and that just makes it feel a little bit more grown up in here. And what's especially lovely is in the afternoon when the light hits, it kind of just sets the whole room. The pink just really lifts and it kind of glows, and it gives this lovely feeling in the room. I've been collecting wall plates for quite a while, or just plates that look nice that could go on the wall. And the reason that I've been doing that is because my mum has always done it. So when I was growing up in our childhood home, we had this most spectacular wall full of these beautiful ceramics. So she would buy a piece from her travels, and every time we went on holiday or she went on holiday with my father, they would bring back a beautiful ceramic, and it was often a plate that would end up on this wall. So I guess this is my interpretation of it. And what I think is especially lovely is that when you come in through the hallway, if you glimpse through this door, that's the view that you get. I've always been really lucky that my publishers have really involved me in the book cover process, which I'm really thrilled about, but partly because I've always been quite vocal about wanting to know what was going on. My benchmark for the book cover is, would I have it on my wall? And in the case of 3 of my books at least, that answer has been yes, because I have got elements of them on my wall. From this one, for How We Met, Charlotte Ager's print is a nod to her. This is our bedroom, and it is deliberately calmer than the rest of the house in that there's not a huge amount on the wall other than the big wall hanging. This beautiful quilt was a birthday present from my husband to me, which I absolutely loved. It's from the brand Projected Teeny. However, originally the base colour was not this lovely kind of buttery yellow. It was actually quite a clean white, and the purple was quite a strong purple, and the green was quite an emerald green. But then my husband accidentally put it in the wash and the colours faded, and at the time I was quite upset, I'm not gonna lie. But actually I absolutely love it now. I love the fact that there's only one of its kind, because I don't think anyone else would have put it in the wash. The centerpiece of this room is really the wall hanging above the bed, which is by a French artist, textile artist called Laetitia Rouget. She also does ceramics, and I have one of her wall plates downstairs on the wall. When I saw this, I just instantly fell in love with it. I think it's something about the clouds and the fact that it's slightly whimsical and poetic. It says Ministry of Dreams, and it says Rêve in French around the borders. It fills the space really nicely. I actually really love oversized art, but I'm not keen on the idea of having a massive frame behind me just in case it falls off. I love that it adds this slightly romantic touch to the room. The wardrobes are just an IKEA hack, so they're IKEA on the inside, and then we had our builders make the doors and do the curved arches and just fit the rattan panels at the back, which is quite simply done. The handles are just from Zara Home that I found, and we had it painted in the same butter yellow that's downstairs. It was quite an affordable way of putting something semi-bespoke together. It certainly looks really special from the outside. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of my home. Thanks for watching.